Mental Health Monday
on Radio City Talk
with Mick Coyle.
Tackling the stigma.
Radio City Talk.
Welcome to Mental Health Monday for another Monday. My name is Mick Coyle. It's Radio City Talk. It's the time of the week where we talk about mental health. I've got three guests in the studio this week. We're going to be talking about their future, hopefully, careers within the mental health field and the work that they've been doing through the Hopeathon, two of which are students at the University of Chester. We've got one of the lecturers in the studio who himself is a mental health nurse. We've got Dean McShane first and foremost. Dean, great to see you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on the show. We've got Tom Slater as well and Liz Roberts. Tom, Liz, thank you for your time too.
Thank you.
You're all wearing branded T-shirts. I like that. Dean, you've let the brand down there.
I know, I have. Yeah.
You're wearing your proper decent clobber as well.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
We'll come on to some of the great work that the team are working on. Dean, first and foremost, tell me a little bit about the work that you do as a mental health nurse as well as a full-time lecturer.
Yeah, so my background's mostly working with young people with mental health. So I've been doing that for many years. And then the last 3 years, been working in assessment. So I assess people's mental health who go to the GP. And this is all ages as well, so from young to older adults. And I'm been a lecturer for the last 3 years at the University of Chester, so teaching student nurses. And this is something I've done for many years as a mentor anyway, but I really enjoyed the lecturing side of it as well.
In terms of the career opportunities that are there and were there when you were looking to get into it, was it something you were scratching around for? I mean, we're hearing now that these jobs are going to be coming online by 2021. Hopefully the next generation of young people who want to get involved in this profession will find employment.
Yeah.
What's been your experience?
When I qualified, I think there was a lot of people from my cohort who were all going for the same jobs. There was definitely a lack of jobs compared to today. Whereas now, I think, if you believe the statistics, there's an awful lot of empty positions within the NHS and especially within mental health. So I think now the students who just qualified from 2015, they've all found employment fairly easily, to be honest, which is very good sign, especially for our future students anyway.
Just tell us about the sort of intensity, if you like, of a course like this. Some of the issues that we cover on this programme, just listening to them as a journalist, you hear 1,001 different stories. Sometimes the circumstances are very different, but ongoing themes as well. Yeah. How intensive is the course itself in terms of the amount of stuff that you're taking on, but also the importance of dealing with these people in the right way?
I think it's probably the most difficult degree that is out there. I'm not just saying that because I think people forget that our students will be in placement for 40 hours a week. They'll be in lectures, and a lot of them have part-time employment as well, and families and everything else that goes along with it. So it's a significant high-stress position, but it's all worth it by the end when you've qualified. It's very enjoyable as well, I'd like to think. I'm sure my students might tell you otherwise in a minute. But,
you don't have to nod or agree with that at all. It might not be.
We try to make it as enjoyable as possible. But no, it is a fairly stressful course.
And in terms of the sort of training on the job, you'll sometimes hear about people who are going into nursing and they're almost thrown straight into it because of the sort of the delicacies of the issues around mental health. How do you strike that balance between throwing somebody in at the deep end, but also then bearing in mind that might be somebody else's, particularly dark moments? Yeah,
exactly. And I think for our student nurses, there's a lot of protection around that. They get significant support from the university when in university. When out in placement, they have a mentor, they have links to practice as well. We now have practice lecturers. So they're very much supported in that supervision role. And the first 2 years, they're just there to sort of witness everything, really, and they shouldn't be part of the numbers. It's in the third year, like our students here, where they'll start to learn more around this through supervision and mentorship.
I'll tell you what, we'll start with Tom Slater. We'll bring Tom into the conversation. Tom, thank you for your time. Where are you from, Tom?
I'm from Birkenhead.
You're from Birkenhead. So in terms of when you signed up for the course at the University of Chester, did you have a career in mind? Was there something specifically you were looking for?
My background was with autism, and I can see the badge on your lanyard for Autism Together. That
Absolutely.
was the company I worked for. And I came to a point where I wanted to kind of legitimise my experiences and qualification in health and social care. So I didn't particularly have a career in mind. It's been a bit of a passion, a bit of a vocation.
Excellent. So you had experience in it in the first instance. Let's bring Liz Roberts into the conversation. Liz, where are you from?
Hi, I live in Widnes at the
Widnes,
moment.
there we go. And when you were signing up for the course, was it because you had a particular field in mind?
Yeah, mine was kind of more of a personal reason why I came into mental health nursing, and I'm very interested in the perinatal side, so kind of mums and babies. That's where my kind of passion lies. But as the course goes on and you get more experience, I think it's hard to kind of choose one area, because each one you kind of get a little bit attached to, and kind of elderly is a passion of mine as well. So it is hard to make a decision and decide specifically which area to go into.
And in terms of, obviously, you're doing a course which at the end of it will end, and then you'll be into the big wide world in terms of the opportunities. In terms of the jobs and the prospects that are out there, do you get a sense that there will be opportunities for you when it comes around?
Yeah, absolutely. I went to a recruitment fair recently, and there was a lot of positions. If you want them, they're there, definitely.
Yeah. Tom, you the same?
Absolutely. I think Dean and the other lecturing staff at the university do a wonderful job at showing us just how many opportunities there are out there in the field. Certainly some more niche areas, things that you wouldn't necessarily consider. So I know there'll be a job out there for me.
Yeah, Dean, I mean, in terms of that, when you work within the field in terms of your day job, if you like, although this is kind of like you got ongoing jobs, do you get a sense that there are sort of gaps and spaces, potential, places which can be filled by individuals when the right people come around?
I think so, yeah. I think as well, certain trusts around the Northwest have a high percentage of staff who are due to retire as well. They've been with trusts since like the 1960s, and I think that's going to be the big thing that needs to be filled as soon as these start to retire, is getting the newly qualified. And there's certain areas as well, we know, sort of like early intervention and child and adolescent mental health services. There's a lot of vacancies in these positions as well that need filling as well.
Can I ask you about the sorts of trainings that's out there? Because you said those people who went through their training and are now about to retire, we're decades and decades and decades on from that as well. Just in terms of when you were doing your training and now obviously training new young people, what is changing? Because people are talking about mental health very differently as well. Are the ways that we deal with mental health changing as well?
Definitely, yeah. I think the whole recovery model over the last, say, 10 years has developed so much. From when I qualified, it was still that very much medication model, and we've come an awful long way, thankfully, since then. And I think that's a lot of the things that we put in the education now is it's more sort of recovery based. The academic levels changed in the nursing as well, so it's a high standard of knowledge required around medication, different therapeutic models, and many nurses in particular will go out and they'll specialise in something like cognitive behavioural therapy, or like myself, I did solution focused family therapy as well, and there's lots of therapies that you can go out and do additional courses on as well.
And I guess as well for people who are sort of coming and interacting with these guys in the future, and yourself, Dean, they'll be at a certain point in terms of where they require the treatment. Do you touch on, as part of the course, how people got to that point in the first place? This idea that we all have mental health, and that actually the ideal situation is that we never actually have to come into contact with a mental health practitioner, because we've been almost sort of empowered and skilled to sort of break beyond that, or to learn ourselves how to look after ourselves a little bit better.
Yeah, I think we normalise that with our not just our mental health students, our adult nurse students as well. We normalise that from day one about how stress and vulnerability, how anyone can become unwell at any stage, and that's something that we do a lot of work on. And we added quite a lot to our simulation within our university now as well. So, as you say, so they're not having that interaction there and then with patients that might cause them any distress. We're doing it in a safe environment.
In terms of people who sign up to the course, do you ever get a sense to them that they sign up because they've had an experience, and they almost want to get a better understanding of what that experience was, almost from to the point where you're looking at the medical facts around it? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, for myself, the reason I got into mental health nursing was, again, it was family members who, had their own mental health diagnosis, and maybe some of the care that I was witnessing wasn't great, and you kind of think, well, I want my family to be treated a certain way, and I think a lot of our student nurses are like that, like Liz said. And if you have your own personal experience, it helps you enhance that level of care that's required, really.
Yeah, and I guess there's two ways of looking at it. There's one thing going, I was unaware of this world of care that existed, and now I want to be part of it. Or it's, I've experienced a level of care which is there and it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And if there's one person who's going to fix it, it might well be me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And we do get that an awful lot.
Liz, just in regard to that, in regard to the experience that you had through perinatal issues, was that something you got a sense of, that actually there wasn't enough, or was it that inspirational thing of thinking, wow, somebody making a difference at this point can really make a difference, and therefore I want to be part of that?
I really struggled getting the support that I needed. So in terms of time, it took quite a while to get the support that I needed. But once I did get that support, the person in question was absolutely amazing. And she's the reason that I'm here, because she just makes such a difference that's what I would like to do. Just be that person that makes a difference.
And in terms of what you've learnt on your course so far, and obviously what you're hoping to learn over the next year or so, is it like an ongoing thing in terms of how you're learning? Because there seems to be such a really personal element to the work that you're doing, that you've almost got to be a pretty rounded individual as a human being, as well as having that knowledge which you then apply to a situation.
Absolutely. Every placement is different, and it's never what you think it's going to be. And I think you go in kind of, you do a bit of research beforehand, and then when you get there, it's totally different. And just every day you're learning, and every day, for me, my opinion changes, and I think that's what I want to do. So it's, every day you're learning something new.
I think, Tom, as well, and maybe this is unfair to throw this one at you, but there's an expectation that people who work within the mental health profession, who've got the training, are a little bit Zen-like. Like they are, calm-minded. They absolutely have got everything nailed down themselves, and they are then able to sort of dispense this wise information out there. I'm guessing life is more complicated than that, right?
You need to come in and see our cohort when there's a deadline. I think the principles of Zen-like calm are as far removed from anything at that point. No, I think, as you've said, it helps to be a well-rounded individual, but I think what I've appreciated from the course is the fact that it has helped to round me. The experiences that are offered, the training that's given, the support that's provided have helped to create kind of new perspectives, new opinions, really develop my learning and understanding of all things mental health, and definitely almost ready to be a practitioner.
In terms of the people who sign up to the course, I'm wary of asking, I guess, in the studio now how old they are.
Yeah.
But do you have people who have lived experiences, had other careers, and then come onto the course, or do you get the bright and breezy 18-year-old ready to go?
I think we used to find it a lot more when we had the nursing bursary. We used to have a lot more of the mature students. Since it's changed over to the student fees, we are getting much more school leavers with maybe less life experience, but we still do get a fair mix of all ages, which is great, really.
We've got the team from the University of Chester, lecturer Dean McShane, and also two students, Tom Slater and Liz Roberts. They're entering their third year. Are you back in yet?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Been in this morning.
Yeah, we have.
Is it as much fun as Dean was suggesting?
Do you know what it is? It's really good fun.
We've got Tom and Liz. We'll continue our conversation. They're involved in the Hopeathon 2. It's coming up next Wednesday, Wednesday, the 10th of October, World Mental Health Day. And we'll find out a little bit more about the work that they're doing and how you can be supporting it too. Here on Radio City Talk, it's Mental Health Monday.
Mental Health Monday on Radio City Talk with Mick Coyle.
Radio City Talk.
My name's Mick at Mental Health Monday. This week we've got the team from the University of Chester. We've got mental health nurse and lecturer Dean McShane with us in the studio. Also two of their students, Tom Slater and Liz Roberts. Now, coming up a week Wednesday, they're involved in the Hub of Hopeathon. The Hub of Hope, something we mention regularly on the programme, which is basically a database of mental health organisations right across the entirety of the UK. It was set up by Jake Mills, who you'll know from the programme, and Chasing the Stigma. And what basically Jake was doing when it first set up was individually typing in the name of the organisation, where they were, the postcode, where they were on the map, and the kind of expertise that they had. It took him a long time, and it just so happened that Dean got wind that was happening, and the department at the University of Chester decided to become part of it too. Dean, you did Jake a massive favour when you came on board with this as well. But just give us a sense then of how many organisations are out there, because when you get into these things, you're putting in a lot of information, and there's a lot of organisations out there that people simply don't know about.
Oh, there's hundreds. And it was very interesting just inputting some of the ones around the Northwest. And as I say, being a practitioner around here, you think that you know a lot of these, but it's surprising how many sort of like support groups and regular sort of like run charity events and things like this are happening on your doorstep that you don't know about. So to then start inputting them nationally as well, it's just incredible. And there's a huge amount of these that we need to continue inputting for Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess as well for your students, I guess it gives them a sense of the opportunities, the job prospects that might be out there as well for all these different types of organisations. How many people have you got doing it?
For the next one, we've got around about 30 people helping out, but there'll be people just dipping in and out all throughout the day as well, so that'll be great.
And they're basically going through this database, filling in the information so that when people type in their postcode, there might well be that organisation is around the corner from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do a little bit of vetting, don't we? So we find out whether it's still there, whether the hours are all still correct and the numbers. So we find out all of the details so that, as you say, if someone requires that service, that it is actually there, and then we input it into the Hub of Hope.
And there's already a big database, but how many did you manage to fill in last time?
We did close to 250 last time, and we're hoping to do more than that next week,
which is great, because if you had that, then suddenly, you know, if it's only 500 on there, then at least then that's one in every town in the country, you know, where people can go and find out more about a mental health organisation in their own regard as well. Tom, have you already done a Hub of Hopeathon?
Yeah, and I was there for the first one in August.
And in terms of typing those things in, did that give you sort of hope in terms of typing in, thinking, oh, there's loads out there right across the country?
There really is, and it's entirely appropriate in a strange way that doing real dry database entry stuff that we've relieved poor Jake from doing to populate the Hub of Hope, it is just magic, because what you put in and what you get out from it, what we understood from him that, you know, people across the country were searching for, people were finding, made it a very, very worthwhile, enjoyable thing to be doing.
And in terms of the information on there, for people who haven't used it, how much information do they get from that first connection, if you like? If they click on a link, what sort of information's on there about particular organisations?
Firstly, there's no excuse for people to not have used it, because it's available as an app. The website is hubofhope.co.uk. What people will see as they search for their location or as they put in their postcode is a directory of services that are near where they are. Click on the very first one, the nearest one, and the things that we put in on the database are name of the service, brief description of what they offer, opening hours, contact details through phone numbers and emails, even down to Google Street View maps, so you can see perhaps the building where it is, so it gives a sense of familiarity with the location.
And the great thing about this, Liz, as well, is that everybody who has sort of been signed up wants to be signed up. So these are all places that want to be found. These are organisations that want you to find them, which is a real reason to go on there. These, you're not going to be a hassle. You're not going to be a burden on these organisations. They've signed up to the Hub of Hope so that you can track them down, so that you can use their services. Yeah,
absolutely. And a lot of the time we need to ring up and just check the information. So we're phoning them just to say, you know, hi, can I just check, you know, the contact name, just your opening hours. And they're always so enthusiastic and so delighted to be part of the database and to be on there. And, you know, a lot of them are charities, and they're absolutely brilliant.
Give us an example, really, Dean. For people, there's NHS services on there as well. There's various different organisations from different CCGs that sign up to it. Give us an example of another organisation that you've seen on there, which otherwise you wouldn't have known about.
Well, we've just inputted actually the first dementia farm in the country, which is based out near Lee in Wigan. And since then, we've sort of formed a connection with them. We've created a dementia-friendly university over the last year at the University of Chester. And our students are now allowed to go there to help as a placement, basically, with this farm. But that's on there as well. So if, for example, you're a carer or loved one of someone with dementia, you can find that this is there for respite, and it's an amazing place. Really
what's it about? It's an actual farm?
It's an actual farm. It's only open to people with dementia and carers. It's got loads of different animals there. It's got a little fishing lake, so if you're the carer or the person living with dementia, you can do a bit of fishing. It's got arts and crafts huts there, but it's got so many amazing animals and things like this, and it's fab.
It's called the Hub of Hope because it's designed to offer hope to people who otherwise can't really see it. Dean, when you're filling it in, do you get a sense that actually we should be more optimistic about how we feel about mental health and mental health services in the country?
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's good, especially in this area where we are now, that there's so much amazing work going on, and it's not just sort of like NHS and, you know, big organisations. There's a lot of basically grassroots level type of work going on, which is just amazing. You probably know yourself from the likes of the mental health football projects that are going on around here, and where we're based, there's an awful lot of really good rugby projects. So there's lots of good sort of men's ones. We know about a lot of really good women's support mental health as well, especially around this area as well. But you can just find all of those on Hub of Hope.
And in terms of when you go through I'll call it the blurb, but when you go through the blurb, it does give you a sense, Tom, of what and what sort of people that particular organisation is suitable for as well. So if it's not one, it might be the next one down or the one after that.
Absolutely. There are filters available as well. So as and when you search a location, if you're looking for a particular service, as Dean said, the dementia end of the services, or perhaps for younger people, you can refine the results.
There you go. You're all involved in it. This is the 10th of October. Yeah. While it's going on, does somebody get pizzas in?
Yeah.
Coffee supplied?
Yeah, we've got a lovely chaplain, James, and he brought us a lot of pizzas last time and looked after us with teas and coffees and things like that. Because it's World Mental Health Day, we've got a couple of activities that the students can pop out to. We've got mindfulness activities, and we've got lots of other stalls coming in, such as the Hopeview Sensory Farm. They're going to be popping in. We're going to do some fundraising for them. We've got Samaritans are bringing a stall, Papyrus, and quite a few others. So we'll look after our students while they're doing it as well.
Brilliant stuff. It's taken out University of Chester. Which campus are you on?
The Warrington campus.
There you go. Worth mentioning that as well. Warrington campus at the University of Chester. And Tom, Liz, I've got to ask you, as students, everyone leaves university with these sort of ambitions for changing the world a little bit as well. You guys are specifically learning, skills to save lives in many ways. Liz, I'm going to start by asking you this one as well. That's a sort of great power and great responsibility. But actually, what a great career, or what a great opportunity that is, that given your experience and going through the training, coming out the other side, and then getting that opportunity to genuinely make a difference. You're going to be the face of 1,000 people's better existence. I mean, that's a pretty powerful thing to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a privilege. It's just nice to be able to make that difference to somebody else that needs support, in their hour of need. It's just brilliant. We're really, really lucky.
Tom, yourself, your own aspirations for the future? You've got decisions to make?
Decisions to be made, but I think, like you say, it's that prospect, that possibility, never mind being the face for 1,000 people, it's one person at a time.
Absolutely. Oh, there you go. Politics you could go into then, so like that one as well. But I guess as well, in terms of the area that we're in now, you're both relatively, local to the tower that we're in at the moment, but you presumably must be aware that your skills will be transferable anywhere in the country. But at the same time, there will be a great need within your own postcodes, within your own hometowns as well, for those sort of roles to be coming up, which I guess, in terms of how your life works out, must be a pretty good place to be.
Very much so. The opportunities that it provides and presents to have this qualification are numerous and global. But Dean mentioned earlier NHS bursaries, and I think we were amongst the last cohorts being receipt of those. And without getting political, I feel certainly a debt to the NHS. My placements have been in NHS services, and I'm looking forward to being a practitioner and supporting them and working for them.
You can say political things if you want, Liz. Suck it to the government, no? Suck it to the NHS if you want. I mean, let's be balanced about the whole thing. We wish you all the very best on your courses today. Dean, if people want to find out more about the course, what's the name of the course? I don't want to get very UCASy. Don't give us the course code, but what's the name of the course?
It's pre-reg nursing. Yeah. I'm coming to mental health. Don't go on to adult side. It's rubbish. Just
thank you all for your time as well. The Hub of Hope, we should mention that, hubofhope.co.uk. If you want to find mental health services close to you, if you go in as of any point after next Wednesday, you're going to get 250 at least more organisations. Thank you all for joining us as well. Hubofhope.co.uk. You want to find out more information, Dean McShane, Tom Slater and Liz Roberts. Mental Health Monday from Radio City Talk.
Mental Health Monday with Mick Coyle.
Radio City Talk.